Hi everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today. So today I am finally doing another art video and not just me sitting around and talking. Today I am doing a simple sunset using oil paint. Oil paint is still something that's relatively new to me. I just started learning how to use it maybe about a year or so ago. And with this painting I'm using the wet on wet technique. And that was a technique that was made famous by Bob Ross. This was actually requested by a friend of mine. We went to high school and elementary school together. Her mom actually taught me 4th and 5th grade. And her son has recently started getting into art, and she asked me to do a painting for him. And so I happily obliged, and he just wanted like a little sunset just like this one. So Jacob, I really hope you like your painting, and I hope you'll have fun learning about how I did it. And so basically what you do is that you apply a very thin layer of this paint called liquid white, and it's an extremely slow drying paint. With oil painting, it can be a little bit intimidating to a lot of people because it can get really complicated. If you really want to go really traditional with your oil painting technique, you use the fat over lean rule, where basically you start using very thin down paint and then building layers and layers and layers on top of that, and you add more medium or add more oil, and you have to pick which kind of oil that you use, and it can get really complicated really quickly. But the great thing about the wet on wet technique is that it really makes oil painting simple. And it's a great technique for those who want to learn how to oil paint but just don't really know where to start and don't want to spend a whole lot of money, because let me tell you, oil painting can get really expensive really fast. So what you do with the wet on wet technique is that you use this paint called liquid white. And what it does is that it creates a really slick surface for you to work on, and it dries extremely slowly. And so what I'm doing here is I'm creating my sunset, and all I'm doing is I'm just placing my colors where I want them to go, like just a general idea of where I want them to go. And then once I'm happy with the placement of my colors and the different tones and shades, then I just take a big clean brush and then just very gently blend them all together. And then the liquid white underneath really does all the work for you. You don't have to carefully choose your colors, you don't have to carefully mix them and carefully place them and very carefully blend them the way that you would have to do with a traditional oil painting. With this, you can have a lot more fun with it. It's a lot more relaxed. It's a lot more forgiving. And like I said, it's a great technique for beginners. When I first started learning how to oil paint, I had no idea where to start. All I knew is that I wanted to learn how to do it. It was honestly one of the few mediums I never learned how to do in high school or in college. But let me tell you, it was intimidating. And I'm very thankful for the paints that I have because they were actually a gift to me. My boyfriend's mom got them for me for my birthday, and when I got them, I was so happy that I got them. But then I was just like, oh, like what do I do with these? Like where do you even start? But then I would just sit on YouTube and just binge watch Bob Ross videos for like hours and hours to figure out these techniques. And yeah, I mean, eventually I figured them out to a point where I kind of have my own style with it. But I mean, the idea is basically the same. It's very simplistic. It just all depends on the type of brushes that you use, the way that you use your brush on the canvas, the colors that you use. But all in all, this technique is very simple, and it's really great for beginners. The one downfall to this paint technique, I will say though, is that the liquid white is extremely slow drying, and if you use too much liquid white, it could really extend the drying time of your painting. So just watching back the footage on this video, I know I used way too much liquid white in the very beginning, and so I had finished the painting in maybe like I'd say 2 days. I wasn't working on this one very long. Like it's a very simple painting, and it really didn't take that much time. But the painting took almost 3 weeks to completely dry. 3 weeks. And I felt terrible because I kept on messaging Sam and saying, oh, like, your painting's done, it's just not dry. And so if you're using the wet on wet technique, you really need to use the bare minimum of paints to get the effect that you want. Otherwise, you are going to be waiting a very long time for the paint to dry. But nonetheless, this painting was still a lot of fun to do, and any excuse to oil paint is a good excuse in my book. And another thing for me is that landscapes and just backgrounds in general have always been a really big weak point for me. I've always enjoyed drawing like people and figures and things of that nature, but I virtually never draw a person with a background. I always just draw the character and just leave it at that. And so using these techniques and just using oil painting as a whole has really been teaching me how to create realistic looking environments. But now I don't really put figures and environments together. I did, however, do that with my most recent oil painting, Flutter, where I had the female figure in like the spacey galaxy type of like fantasy world. But I've never really attempted to put a character in a realistic setting. I'm hoping that's something that I'll try in the future. But right now, I enjoy keeping them separate. And when it comes to painting backgrounds and environments, oil painting is definitely my go-to medium for that. It just works really nicely in that way, and it's just really easy to create a really nice, simple environment like this. But I think that's all I have to say about this little painting today. Like I said, it's very simple, very straightforward little painting. And Jacob, I really, really hope that you liked it, and I really hope that you enjoyed learning something about how these paintings are created. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment if you have any feedback on what I can do to make my videos better. I'm always looking for ways to make new things and improve my videos and improve my channel. So until next time, I'll see you later. Bye!